Okay, merry meet, my friends. I'm Kevin. I'll be your service associate today. And we're going to keep it brief because we don't have too many announcements for you this morning. So the first one is Super Sunday. Will be Sunday, December 10th. After Sunday service, the board will sponsor Super Sunday. They'll offer 4 or 5 crock pots of soup, plus breads, desserts, and beverages. The time for that will be 11 to 11:45. And after you're all full of warm soup and feeling warm and fuzzy, we'll have our annual membership budget and business meeting right here in the sanctuary. The Social Justice Committee. So please stop by and see the Social Justice Committee table hosted by Dave Steele for information before and after the Sunday service on information for the New Mexico Environmental Rights Amendment, aka the NM Green Amendment, that our congregation will be voting either yea or nay to endorse at the December 10th annual business meeting. So how many of you have experienced Elwyn's wonderful truffles? Okay, well, here's your chance. Sunday, December 17th, after the church service in the lobby, you can get 16 of your favorites. That's 4 more than last year. So it'll be $4 for a package of 3, $20 for a bulk package of 18, which is the same price as last year. So I guess with the bulk, you can have 1 of every one of those wonderful truffle flavors that he has. So you got 2 papers today, the order of service and the December calendar. On the back of the December calendar, we have a little description of all the upcoming services that we'll have throughout the month. And that's all I've got for our announcements today. So I guess I'll turn it over to our wonderful music director to get us gathering here.
Good morning, and welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. Who's still having leftovers? Aren't we fortunate? I'm Catherine Massey, Director of Music, and we usually begin our service with some singing. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. And I'm going to sing you a phrase, and you just sing it back to me. Oh, we give thanks, for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks, for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks, for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks, for this precious day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. We welcome those of you who are in the sanctuary this morning, especially the children, and those who are joining us via streaming technology. Our service leader is the Reverend Rod Thompson, and you just got introduced to our music director, Catherine Massey. She's joined by our wonderful UUCLC choir. The biggest and the best in the state, from what I understand. So assisting us are Elwyn Nunn on camera, Claire Neal Wallace on audio, and our tech master, Mike Yazko. Creates all these marvelous sides that you're going to see and keeps us all in order in the service. He also connects us to the rest of the world through YouTube, and you can, if you really enjoy it, you can get the repeat when you go home. Just look up on YouTube for UUCLC. Our greeters today are Susan West, Diane Lee, and John Seeley. Hospitality is provided today by the Social Justice Committee, and we are all delighted to be with you here today. So Unitarian Universalism has no creed or dogma. We are a covenant-based church, meaning that we agree to live in relationship with each other according to the Unitarian Universalist principles and our congregation's covenants of right relations. We embrace diversity in all its forms. Everyone is welcome. You can learn more about our church at our website, UUCLC.org. So if you're visiting us today, we'd like to meet you. If you're in the sanctuary, please rise in body or spirit and introduce yourself by telling us your name and where you're from. But wait till I bring the mic around to you. So do we have any visitors here in the sanctuary this morning? Yay, welcome.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Hollister, and I recognize a few folks here. I'm a longtime UU from the UU Fellowship of Raleigh, where Rod Thompson served for a while. And I'm here visiting my mom, Patty Simpson, and her partner, John Seeley. And I went here for a few months in 2016, if I look familiar to any of you. Thank you.
Welcome, Tracy. There you go.
Oh, hi, my name is Tallulah Moore.
Closer,
What do I
a
press?
little closer to your mouth.
Oh, hello. I'm Tallulah Moore, and I'm here with my friend. I've been to the Unitarian Church before when I lived in Los Angeles. That's where I moved here in 2002. I moved to Silver City, and then I moved down here. I have a granddaughter and a son, and I moved to Silver City because I didn't want to move to Las Cruces because I'd be babysitting every day. But hey, eventually moved to Australia, got a job there, so now I'm here. I love New Mexico very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you and welcome. Do we have anybody else in the audience today? No? Well, we better get to work then. So if you're here on YouTube, you can introduce yourself in the comment section. So thank you. We're very pleased to have you joined us today for our service. Please fill out a visitor's card in the lobby or leave your email in the YouTube comment section so we can invite you to other services and activities here at the church. So if you're a shy visitor but are curious about the church, please feel free to fill out a visitor's card in the lobby or contact us at uuchurchlc.com. You'll receive the same invitations. And please join us after the service for coffee and conversation outside the RE, just down the breezeway there.
Chalice.
Oh, I thought we had opening words.
No. Chalice.
Okay. I got distorted there. Who can make an accounting of gratitude? For the universe we give thanks, an expanse of life to stretch us with wonder. For the earth we give thanks, fragments of the stars that is our home. For life we give thanks, the burning of stars ordered and tempered here, allowing us life and breath. For growth we give thanks, for the heritage of the Spirit, for all the forces past our knowing, power past our control, for the ages which follow us, for the eternity of days, in which life is ever renewed and filled, we give thanks. Would one of our youth like to come up and light the chalice for us? Nobody? Okay. Charlene must not be here today. Now it's your turn. Let me get that out of your way.
For our opening words this morning, you have a choice. Well, it's a responsive reading. It's on the back of the order of service. It's also going to be on the screen. This is a responsive reading in 3 voices. I get a voice, you all get a voice, and they get a voice. So, and I believe it's going to be color coordinated. So, anyway, you figure out which section is yours. We look up at the sky, at the vastness of space.
And we are filled with wonder and awe. And we give thanks.
We gaze at the stars and the moon bright in the sky. We walk along the seashore and gaze entranced into the ocean's depths.
We feel its mystery and power and recognize its beauty. And we give thanks.
We sense the unleashed strength and power of nature.
We feel the pushing wind, the pounding rain, the freezing ice. And we give thanks.
We see the seeds fall from the trees and plants, the seasons as they come and go.
We come to know and understand the true meaning of the cycle of life. And we give thanks.
We see a family walking together on a Sunday afternoon.
They touch, laugh, and hold each other in love. And we give thanks.
We look about this room, savoring both its beauty as well as the familiar and visiting faces within.
We feel part of a family, this church family. And we give thanks.
We have a church that encourages us to think and to ask questions.
Joyously we celebrate the religious freedom we are able to express here. And we give thanks.
We give thanks together on this day and realize we need to give thanks every day for the many blessings of our lives. I invite you now to stand again as we say together our covenant and then sing the doxology in English and in Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. Christ the truth is our commandment.
And service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. And now our very own Kelly Ingram will celebrate the time for all ages with us.
Good morning, church. Good morning, Kelly. Happy Day of Thanks Week. This morning I will be reading Thank You, Amu. On the corner of First Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Amu was cooking a thick red stew in a big old pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a small taste. "What a delicious stew," Amu said. "Tonight's dinner will surely be the best I have ever had." With that, Amu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious scent wafted out of the window and out of the door and down the hall and toward the street and around the block until, knock, 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 someone was at the door. When Amu opened it, she saw a little boy. "Little boy," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was playing with my race car down the hall when I smelled the most delicious smell," the little boy replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew," said Amu. Stew," sighed the little boy. "That sure sounds yummy." Amu thought for a moment. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit. It would not hurt to share. "Would you like some?" The little boy nodded. And so Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big old pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," the little boy said, and went on his way. With that, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. As she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out of the window and out of the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block until, knock, 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 someone was at the door. When Amu opened the door, this time she saw a police officer. "Mrs. Police Officer," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was on duty down the street when I smelled the most delicious smell," Miss Police Officer replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew," said Amu. "Ah, stew," she said as her mouth watered. "That sounds mighty tasty." Amu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share. "Would you like some?" The police officer nodded. Once again, Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big old pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," said the police officer, and went on her way. And so for the second time, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. Sure enough, as she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out of the window and out of the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block until, knock, knock, knock. Again, someone was at Amu's door. This time when she opened it, she saw a hot dog vendor. "Mr. Hot Dog Vendor," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" I was selling my hot dogs down the block when I smelled the most delicious smell." "What is it?" "Thick red stew," said Amu. "Oh, stew!" The vendor licked his lips. "That sounds quite delectable." So Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big red pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," said the hot dog vendor, and went on his way. Throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Amu's door. She fed a shop owner, a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker. Even the mayor stopped by. And each time they knocked, Amu shared. Soon the sky darkened, the street lights brightened. It was finally time for dinner. But when Amu opened her big old pot full of thick red stew for her nice evening meal, It was empty. Almost sniffled. There goes the best dinner I ever had. Sorry and blue, she sat at the table with her empty pot until, knock, knock, knock. Who could that be, she wondered. When she opened the door, she saw the little boy, the police officer, the hot dog vendor, the shop owner, the cab driver, the doctor, the actor, the lawyer, the dancer, the baker. Why, everyone she had fed today was at her door. I'm sorry, everyone, Omu said. My thick red stew is gone. I have nothing left to share. The little boy tugged at Amu's sleeve. Don't worry, Amu. We're not here to ask. We are here to give. The police officer carried in a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roast chicken. The baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Even the little boy presented Amu with something special in a shiny red envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Amu's door that day squeezed inside her tiny apartment, and together they ate and danced and celebrated. While Amu's big old pot of thick red stew was completely empty, her heart was full of happiness and love. The dinner was the best she had ever had. Thank you, Amu.
Our opening hymn is number 68 in the gray hymnal, Come Ye Thankful People Come. I invite you to rise and body your spirit as we sing together.
My reading this morning is a Thanksgiving prayer from my colleague Beth Graham. For the silence which soothes our souls and the music that stirs us inside, we are a lucky people. For the earth, in its marvelous lushness and the knowledge that it is all a gift. We are a lucky people. For the children who keep us curious and the aged who show us life's depth, we are a lucky people. For the moments we notice life's heartbeat and the times so full to suspend, we are a lucky people. For the fleeting sights that bolster our spirits and the places we love to call home, we are a lucky people. For the month, as the month of November comes to an end, with the cold and damp and dark closing in, we pause to give thanks and to remember that we are a lucky people. In addition to being music director, you're also stagehand. Turkey and other Thanksgiving leftovers. Yes, I know that my title is pretty irreverent and silly. But I needed something other than post-Thanksgiving as a title. Besides, turkeys was the first thing that came into my mind when I tried to figure out what it was I wanted to say today, 3 days after Thanksgiving. Once that happened, I remembered hearing that Ben Franklin had, and maybe with tongue-in-cheek, suggested that the wild turkey be the new United States symbol. So I went to Mother Google to find out for sure if that was the case and to learn how turkey became the Thanksgiving meal. Here is what Mother Google said. Wild turkeys have become an iconic symbol of Thanksgiving, but their journey to the center of our holiday feasts is an interesting tale. First, she looked at the early Thanksgiving meals. The idea of Thanksgiving meals is rooted in both European and African harvest festivals and, of course, Christian religious observances. In New England, colonists celebrated days of Thanksgiving as a tradition. And as everybody supposedly knows, the Pilgrims and native peoples did share a meal in late 1621, but there's no evidence that turkeys were involved. The Pilgrims did provide wild fowl, but it probably wasn't turkey. There were lots of turkeys in the area, but the historians believe that it was more likely ducks and geese. The Pilgrims didn't really consider that meal as a significant milestone because no other 17th century reference refers to even that feast, except for a Plymouth colonist by the name of Edward Winslow in his writings. But turkeys have risen in prominence. By the early 19th century, turkey had become popular as a Thanksgiving dish for several reasons. One, that turkeys were plentiful all over. There's estimated to have been 10 million turkeys at that time. Unlike cows and hens, which served other purposes, turkeys were primarily a meat source. And a single turkey could feed the entire extended family. However, turkeys weren't yet synonymous with Thanksgiving. And then we can turn to Charles Dickens' novel, A Christmas Carol, because it played a cementing role, according to her, or to Google. I call her Mother Google, but that's beside the point. No gender is associated as far as I know. But anyway, because at the end of A Christmas Carol, Scrooge does call for the big turkey that's hanging in the window to be taken so that the meal could happen. So we'll blame Charles Dickens for that, I guess. And apparently it was George Washington who referred to turkeys as for a one-off Thanksgiving meal or celebration in 1789. So I guess it was George rather than Ben that really suggested that. their presence in the American landscape and their deliciousness contributed to their prominence. Okay, enough of that. I do like the smell of roasting turkeys. And I appreciate leftovers, although I didn't do a turkey this year. I don't have any leftovers. And I am terrible at carving turkeys. So I leave that to somebody else. Fortunately, on our Thanksgiving meal, somebody else did do the carving. So, enough about turkeys. That's assuming I can turn the page. Even though some folks refer to Thanksgiving as Turkey Day, we know Thanksgiving is still a reminder for us to pause and think about what it is for which we are thankful. American author Anne Lamott, sometimes called the people's author, writes, "Gratitude begins in our hearts and then becomes behavior. We mysteriously find ourselves picking up litter in the street, and we often let others go first in traffic. On this Sunday after Thanksgiving, here we are together as a community of all ages. We are celebrating Thanksgiving by telling stories and singing songs that invite us to be grateful for all that we have and to practice gratitude on the go, living a life of active gratitude. For many of us, Thanksgiving is a time for families, however constituted, to get together, which is a good thing, except for a couple of things. Not everyone lives close enough or is able to afford to get to their families, to have a Thanksgiving with them. And not everyone has the weekend off to be with their families. EMTs and first responders, hospital, rehab, and nursing home workers, and all those store clerks who will be working all weekend for the rest of us. We need to be thankful for all of them as we think about what it is we are thankful for. If Thanksgiving is for nothing else, it is to count our blessings. For all those blessings we are thankful for. And yes, I was taught never to use a preposition to end a sentence with. Took you a minute, didn't it? My 8th grade teacher, Miss Green, would be very disappointed in me. It is from her that I learned that sentence. I started my blessings counting as I was sitting in my comfortable recliner on Thanksgiving. I saw so many things just right in front of me to remind me to be thankful for. The cats on my lap, who remind me that of their support and comfort and stimulation a lot. For my big TV, for the movies that make me cry and relieve my loneliness, and for football. Okay, except yesterday. That team up north won. Okay. I was also counting as a blessing the auto harp clock that sits above the TV, which keeps me grounded in all the music I can create with this wonderful instrument over here and appreciate from when I can sit in front of it and listen to it. For the Ethan Allen furniture, the cabinets and the shelves that I look at that remind me of families now gone and the treasures on all those shelves that remind me of my travels. The couch that's next to me, the back of which is covered with the quilt that this congregation gave us when we left 12 years ago. And by the way, the cats do love to sit on it. And of course, there are all the clocks and the phones and all those electronic devices that sit on those shelves, plus all the CDs and DVDs that give me such pleasure. And that is just the beginning. I am one of the lucky ones. As we count our blessings, we need to be reminded that just being thankful is not enough. We have so much, and there are so many that have so little. That's why our church's mission calls us to care for each other and our community and do the work of justice in this world. That is why I am so proud and thankful to be a Unitarian Universalist and to be minister of this congregation. I continue to be proud and thankful for all of you who do day to day do the work of the congregation individually and together to make this a better community and world. If I don't say it enough, thank you. Now Kevin is going to introduce us to what we're going to do next.
Okay, so now we're going to have an opportunity to share that for which we are thankful. Now, many of you have probably been able to practice this ritual over the last couple of days with your Thanksgiving celebrations. It was always a tradition at our table. So we'd like you to please come forward, take a stone from the altar, and drop it into the water. Then we can turn towards the congregation and share that which with you are most thankful for today.
I'll do that.
So, this water vessel was supposed to have 6 layers, according to the science experiment that I've been working with, and it worked well at home, but here it only came up with 2 layers. So, hope you enjoy, and I'd just like to share that one of the things I am most thankful for is the fact that I did discover this church and this congregation, and I'm truly grateful for the way that you have welcomed and embraced my wife and allowed us to join your company. Thank you.
So, we invite you to come, share what it is you're thankful for today, and add a stone to the colorful vase. I'll hold the mic and you can just talk.
I'm thankful for having John in my life.
There you go. Thank you.
I just echo what Kevin said. We just moved, my wife and I, Linda, moved here in February, and we have been so welcomed. It makes me tear up. You guys have been great.
Thank you.
I'm grateful to be living in Las Cruces. I'm grateful to be a member of this church, and I'm grateful to be alive every day.
Thank you.
I am grateful for my returning health and for the friendship and the support we have gotten from this people in this church.
Thank you, Jerry.
A few. I'm thankful we still have a thriving democracy. I'm thankful that we have a church that's growing again, and I'm thankful for all of it.
I'm thankful for my supportive wife and my beautiful family that she's helping me to raise. So, thank you.
This year, I'm actually incredibly grateful that after many years of planning and talking, my husband has started the Center for Peace Technology.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful to have such a wonderful apartment to live in, where I look out on grass and trees, and I'm surrounded by many wonderful people.
I'm thankful for our girl Charlene, who is a candle lighter, and she's now back home with her parents after a year.
I'm thankful to have the privilege of waking up in the morning for 55 years next door to that beautiful blonde lady in the middle of the congregation, my wife Eileen.
I'm grateful that I didn't have to spend Thanksgiving alone, that I shared Thanksgiving with 46 other people here and bulging food tables. And I am very grateful for the wonderful memorial service that Rod conducted yesterday for my son, and especially for the music. It was fabulous. It was so reflective of Daryl. And for all of the people who were able to join me for that service. It was very, very meaningful. I appreciate all the support I get here.
I'm thankful for two beautiful homes, one here in Las Cruces up on the hill, and a beautiful rock wall that my husband is building around it for us to look at, and also a beautiful home in the summer in Montana, and for my good friends.
I'll be frivolous. I'm thankful for figs. I just discovered figs this year. They're easy to grow. They have a huge range of flavors, and they're part of my future. So I'm thankful for my future, and that includes this congregation. I look forward to contributing those.
I'm thankful for my life, to have it back, and for this congregation and its support.
I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for a wonderful lifelong friend, my college roommate and swimming teammate who died yesterday.
I'm thankful for my church family here and all the beautiful faces that I've seen for many, many years. And I'm thankful for Catherine and my friend Jen for being and sharing this Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful for John Tickle, who was my mentor for many years. He died this week.
I'd like to close this part of the service by sharing these thoughts from a former colleague who was one of my writing heroes, the Reverend Max Coots. He's using a garden metaphor, but I think you'll understand that he is sharing what he is thankful for. Let us give thanks for the bounty of people, for children who are our second planting, and though they grow like weeds and the wind too soon blows them away, may they forgive our cultivation and fondly remember where their roots are. Let us give thanks for generous friends with hearts and smiles as bright as their blossoms, for feisty friends as tart as apples, for continuous friends like scallions and cucumbers that keep reminding us that we've had them. For crotchety friends as sour as rhubarb and as indestructible. For handsome friends who are as gorgeous as eggplants and as elegant as rows of corn, and others as plain as potatoes and as good for you. For funny friends who are as funny as Brussels sprouts and as amusing as Jerusalem artichokes, and serious friends as complex as cauliflowers and as intricate as onions. For friends as unpretentious as cabbages, as subtle as summer squash, as persistent as parsley, as delightful as dill, as endless as zucchini, and who, like parsnips, can be counted on to see us through the winter. For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on as fast as radishes. For loving friends who wind around us like tendrils and hold us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for those friends now gone, like gardens past that have been harvested and who fed us in their times that we might live thereafter. For all these, we give thanks. And I give thanks for Max and for you. So be it. Blessed be, and amen.
Okay, while we're on the subject of sharing, is it your turn?
You're on first.
Oh, okay. Thought I was distorted again. The operation and outreach of our church needs your input and your contributions. This is the perfect time to think about what you can give back. In a moment, the greeters will pass among you with the offering baskets. Please give generously. Before they do that, I would remind you that we support organizations identified by the Social Justice Committee with our Change for Change program. This quarter's recipient for our Change for Change donations is the Massey Valley Hospice. You can give to them by putting your actual change in the basket or by writing Change for Change on the note line of your check. So please give generously.
For the gift of life, for the air we breathe, for the tears we cry, for every melody, for the times we break, even when we bleed, for the morning sun, I raise my voice to sing Gloria, 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 un amore eterno, I'm so very
If I may, I'm going to switch things around. It's one of my quirks. I like words and music to be separate, so let me share some closing words and then we'll sing. Does that work? If we can be thankful for the little things in life that are so often taken for granted, if we can appreciate that which is different as well as that which is beautiful, if we can recognize in ourselves the gifts we have to offer and see in others the good things they have to give, then each day will bring us something to gladden our hearts and enrich our lives. So be it. Blessed be, and amen. I'm just going to stand up rather than bouncing back and forth.
Our closing hymn is Gracias por el amor. And in English, it somewhat is We give thanks for the love of heaven, the immense ocean, and the singing of the forest, for this new day, the love of the earth, and our friendship. Alleluia. I invite you to rise and body your spirit as we sing together in Spanish.
Okay, please join me saying the words to extinguish our flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.